Have you ever wondered if that woman actually likes you or is just being nice? In the next few minutes, you'll discover exactly how to know, without a shadow of doubt, if a woman is completely crazy about you. No more confusion, no more mixed signals, just absolute certainty. The signs have always been there, but nobody ever taught you how to see them. It's like having a hidden superpower that you're finally going to unlock today. Are you ready to forever change the way you view your interactions? Because after this video, you'll never again question whether that special woman is into you. The difference between men who always know when to make a move and those who live in uncertainty isn't their looks or their money. It's their ability to correctly read what's right in front of their eyes. And today, you're joining the first group. The first signal, the most fundamental one that most guys miss, is unconscious body language. The fascinating thing about body language is that it doesn't lie. While words can deceive, the body reveals the truth that many women try to hide. Neil Strauss explains it perfectly when he says that the body speaks the language of the subconscious, revealing what the conscious mind wants to hide. When a woman is truly interested in you, her body will reveal it in ways she can't even control. Watch for these micro gestures. Her pupils dilate when she looks at you, an involuntary phenomenon that happens when something attracts us or interests us. It's a biological response impossible to fake. Do you notice how she physically orients toward you during a conversation? When a woman is interested, her entire body, not just her face, turns in your direction. It's like she's a magnet drawn to you, even in a group. Her torso, her feet, her knees point to where you are, marking you as the center of her attention. Pay attention to something called preening. When a woman is near someone she's attracted to, she'll unconsciously start grooming herself, touching her hair, adjusting her clothes, moistening her lips. It's not vanity. It's an evolutionary response that says, I want to look good for you. But there's an even more powerful signal: mirroring. When a woman reflects your movements, when she adopts your posture, when she uses your phrases or expressions, she's creating rapport at a subconscious level. If you take a sip of your drink and she does the same shortly after, if you change your posture and notice that she follows suit, you're seeing one of the strongest indicators of attraction there is. Try this exercise. During your next interaction with a woman you're interested in, deliberately change your posture 3 times in intervals of a few minutes. Lean forward, then recline, cross your arms. If she reflects at least 2 of these changes without realizing it, you have a clear signal of interest right there. Have you noticed personal space? An interested woman will gradually reduce the physical distance between you. She'll find reasons to establish casual touch, a hand on your arm when laughing, accidentally brushing your hand, eliminating inch by inch that invisible bubble of personal space we all maintain with strangers. Remember this truth: the body never lies. You just need to know how to listen. And when you learn to read these signs, it's like suddenly you can see a world that was always there, but invisible to you. This knowledge gives you an edge that few men possess, and that's what we'll talk about in the next point. The second unmistakable signal goes beyond body language and enters the territory of emotional and time investment. Neil Strauss brilliantly sums it up when he says that interest is measured in investment, not words. What a woman does for you reveals much more than what she says. Think about this. We all value our time. It's the most precious resource we have, because once spent, we can never get it back. So when a woman rearranges her schedule to see you, when she cancels other plans, or when she immediately responds to your messages, she's giving you the clearest signal of interest there is. A woman who's crazy about you will invest in the relationship in ways that go beyond the conventional. She won't just give you her time, she'll give you her complete attention. Do you notice how she puts away her phone when she's with you? How she remembers small details from past conversations? How she asks questions that show she really wants to know you deeply? There's an infallible test to measure this investment. Observe how she reacts when you cancel plans. If she shows genuine disappointment, if she tries to reschedule immediately, if she makes an effort to keep the contact alive despite the setback, you have a woman who's emotionally invested in you. Have you noticed her questions? Interested women ask a particular type of question, those designed to discover long-term compatibility. They ask about your family, your future plans, your values. It's not casual curiosity. They're evaluating whether you fit into their vision of the future. There's a phenomenon Neil calls escalating investment. A truly interested woman will gradually increase her level of investment. First, it's messages, then calls, then time in person. Then she introduces you to her friends, her family. Each step represents a greater level of emotional commitment. Try this exercise. The next time you're with a woman you're interested in, casually mention an interest or activity you enjoy. Don't insist on it. Just mention it and change the subject. An interested woman will pick up on that topic later, maybe even research it, and use it as a bridge to create a shared experience. You mentioned you like that author. I found one of his books, or you said you've never tried that restaurant, we could go together. But there's something even more revealing about female investment. When a woman begins to include you in her social circle, when she invites you to events with her friends, when she mentions you to her family, she's sending a clear message about your importance in her life. She's building a place for you in her world. This level of emotional and time investment is impossible to fake in the long run. Anyone can show momentary interest, but only someone truly attracted maintains that consistent investment over time. And when you identify this pattern, you can move forward with a confidence most men will never experience because you know without doubts that you're on her mind. This knowledge perfectly positions you to understand the third signal, which we'll discuss in the next point. The third signal, perhaps the most powerful of all, is what Neil Strauss calls vulnerable disclosure. It's the moment when a woman lowers her emotional defenses and allows you to see aspects of herself that she normally keeps hidden from the world. In modern society, we all wear masks. We present carefully edited versions of ourselves to the world, especially in the initial stages of getting to know someone. But when a woman is truly attracted, something fascinating happens. She begins to show her authenticity, her imperfections, her fears, her deepest hopes. Have you noticed how some conversations with a woman suddenly change tone? From casual chat and superficial topics to personal confidences, to stories from her childhood, to dreams she hasn't shared with many. That shift isn't accidental. It's a door she's deliberately opening for you, inviting you into a more intimate space. A woman who shares her vulnerabilities with you is doing something extraordinarily significant. She's taking an emotional risk. She's saying, "I trust that you won't use this to hurt me." In a world where people generally protect themselves from rejection, this is perhaps the deepest indicator of interest you can receive. Pay attention to those moments when she tells you about some past failure, about her insecurities, about her complicated family relationships. She's not looking for your pity. She's evaluating your reaction, seeing if she can be real with you. You'll also notice that she begins to share her firsts with you. Her first heartbreak, her first big success, her first important trip. These aren't casual stories, they're carefully selected pieces of her history that she's choosing to share with you. There's a powerful exercise to encourage this openness. Practice mutual disclosure. Share something personal but not too intense, and observe if she responds with a revelation of similar depth. If she does, and then raises the level of emotional intimacy in her next revelation, you're witnessing a clear indicator of growing trust and attraction. What about silences? In our hyper-connected society, many fear silence, filling it with empty words. But when a woman is comfortable sharing silences with you, when she doesn't feel the need to fill every pause in the conversation, she's demonstrating a level of comfort that only exists when there's an authentic connection. Neil Strauss explains it perfectly. Real intimacy isn't in what you say, but in what you dare to share that you'd normally keep hidden. When a woman begins to show you parts of her inner world that few have seen, you're not simply progressing in a relationship. You're being selected as someone special, someone who has passed multiple unconscious filters. But there's an even deeper way this vulnerable disclosure manifests, through her fears about you. When a woman begins to express concerns like, "Are you seeing someone else?" or "Will you get bored with me?" she's not being needlessly insecure. She's indirectly revealing that she cares enough about you to fear losing you. This trifecta of signals, body language, investment, and vulnerable disclosure, forms an infallible system for recognizing genuine interest. But there's an even deeper level of connection that manifests in emotional reciprocity, and that's what we'll talk about in the next point. When a woman not only responds to your attention, but actively seeks ways to show you that you're on her mind, you've entered the territory of what Neil Strauss calls positive interest feedback. This is the point where the dynamic becomes reciprocal, where she begins to subtly pursue you. You'll notice it first in something simple yet deeply revealing: contact initiative. When a woman is really interested, she won't passively wait for you to always initiate communication. She'll text you to share something that reminded her of you. She'll call you with simple pretexts. She'll find reasons to cross your path. This behavior goes against the conventional wisdom that says women simply wait. The truth is that a captivated woman seeks creative ways to stay on your radar without seeming too obvious or desperate. Observe how she reacts when you mention other women, even casually. If she shows subtle signs of jealousy or slightly changes her behavior, perhaps becoming more tactile, more attentive, or making slightly disparaging comments about that other person, you're seeing a territorial response that only emerges when there's genuine interest. One of the clearest indicators is what we might call the effort to impress. You'll notice that she begins to highlight achievements or skills she has, that she dresses more carefully when she knows she'll see you, that she casually mentions things she believes you'll value. She's not showing off. She's showing you her value, telling you, "I'm a good choice for you." Have you noticed how some women begin to adopt your interests? This phenomenon, which Neil calls value synchronization, occurs when a woman starts exploring your passions and hobbies. Suddenly, she's listening to the artists you mentioned, watching the movies you recommended, taking an interest in topics that are important to you. It's not coincidence or manipulation. It's her way of building a shared world. Try this exercise. Mention a little-known book that impacted you or a somewhat obscure movie you enjoyed. Don't insist on it or suggest she read or watch it. Simply mention it as something that marked you. A truly interested woman will likely seek it out on her own, and later, perhaps days or weeks later, she'll surprise you by mentioning it or referencing specific details. There's a particularly revealing phenomenon that occurs when a woman is truly attracted. She begins to integrate you into her future, not necessarily explicitly, but through casual references. "That place you mentioned, we should go sometime," or "when that movie we're waiting for comes out." These future projections are extremely significant because people only include in their vision of the future what they value. There's a level of interest that manifests in what Neil Strauss calls proactive defense. When others speak negatively about you, even in jest, a genuinely interested woman will take your defense, sometimes in surprisingly energetic ways. It's not simple courtesy, it's a protective reaction towards someone she has already begun to value. And if you really want to confirm this level of interest, pay attention to how she reacts when you need help. An attracted woman won't just offer help. She'll actively seek ways to be useful, to solve problems for you, to make your life easier. She doesn't do it out of servility, but because we're biologically programmed to invest in what we value. The beauty of understanding these patterns is that it allows you to operate with a clarity few men possess. While others struggle with uncertainty, you can act with the confidence that only certainty gives. And this certainty perfectly positions you for the deepest level of connection, one that transcends signals and enters the territory of authentic emotional attunement, which we'll discuss in the next point. We've reached the fifth level, the deepest and most transformative, what Neil Strauss calls synchronized emotional resonance. It's the point where attraction transcends the physical and intellectual to become a connection that both feel, but few can explain in words. You'll perceive it first in the gaze. There's a particular type of eye contact that only occurs when there's deep attraction. The eyes remain connected a second longer than normal. There's an intensity, a silent communication that happens without the need for words. Neuroscientists have discovered that this type of sustained gaze releases dopamine and oxytocin in the brain, literally creating a chemical connection between both people. Have you ever experienced that feeling that time slows down when you're with someone? When 2 hours feel like minutes, when conversation flows so naturally that you lose track of time, you're experiencing brain synchronization that only occurs when there's a deep connection. A woman at this level of attraction will begin to anticipate your needs before you express them. She'll serve you a drink just the way you like it without asking. She'll know when you need space and when you need closeness. She'll understand your humor without explanations. This attunement isn't coincidence. It's the result of deep attention that she only dedicates to someone who really matters to her. You'll also notice a fascinating phenomenon: synchronized non-verbal communication. When you reach this level of connection, gestures, facial expressions, and even breathing begin to align. Researchers call this the chameleon effect, and it's a powerful indicator of deep attraction that occurs completely outside of consciousness. One of the most potent markers of this emotional resonance is reciprocal vulnerability. Not only does she open up to you, but you feel an unusual comfort opening up to her. The barriers you normally maintain with others begin to dissolve naturally, without effort or conscious intention. Try this exercise. The next time you're with this person, pay attention to your own internal state. Do you feel calmer, more centered, more authentically yourself in her presence? This feeling of coming home when you're with someone is perhaps the deepest indicator of genuine compatibility. At this level, you'll notice that you begin to develop a private language. Inside jokes, references that only you understand, perhaps even nicknames or expressions that are part of your exclusive communication. This shared language isn't trivial. It's the linguistic manifestation of a world you're building together. Neil Strauss talks about a powerful concept at this level: investment in potential. A deeply attracted woman doesn't just see who you are now, but who you could become. She supports you in ways that foster your growth, celebrates your achievements as her own, and lovingly challenges you when you're not living up to your potential. When you reach this level of connection, the tests disappear. There are no more games, no need for strategies or tactics. Communication becomes direct, honest, transparent. It's the point where the dynamics of seduction transform into an authentic emotional partnership. And here's the deepest truth. When a woman reaches this level of attraction for you, it's not just because she's physically attracted to you or because you're interesting. It's because in you, she has found a reflection of something that resonates with her most authentic essence. You've gone from being someone who attracts her to someone who makes her feel more herself. The beauty of understanding these 5 levels of female attraction, from unconscious body language to synchronized emotional resonance, is that it allows you to navigate the complex world of relationships with a clarity that most men will never experience. You'll know exactly where you stand, where you're heading, and most importantly, you'll know when a woman is genuinely crazy about you without doubts or confusion. If you've made it this far, there's something you already know. Female attraction isn't an impenetrable mystery or a game of chance. It's a language with clear patterns and concrete signals that anyone can learn to read. The difference between men who always seem to know when to advance and when to pull back isn't their physical attractiveness or social status. It's their ability to correctly read these signals we've explored. Understanding unconscious body language, recognizing emotional and time investment, identifying vulnerable disclosure, perceiving positive interest feedback, and experiencing synchronized emotional resonance. These aren't just skills for conquering women. They're tools for creating authentic connections based on a real understanding of what's happening beneath the surface. Imagine how your life would change if you never again had to wonder, does she really like me? If you could move forward with the confidence that certainty gives without wasting energy on unproductive doubts, you become irresistible. That's the power of what you've learned today. Your challenge from this moment is simple. Start observing. Not from insecurity or anxiety, but from curiosity and understanding. Observe interactions not just with women who attract you, but with all the people in your environment. Begin to notice patterns, to read signals, to understand the nonverbal language that has always been there, but that perhaps you hadn't learned to interpret. Comment below with this declaration to reaffirm your commitment to this new level of awareness. I choose to see beyond words and understand the real language of attraction. Let the world know that you're no longer the same person who relied on guesses or assumptions. Remember, the signals are there, they always have been. The difference now is that you can see them, and when you see them, You move in the world of relationships with a clarity and confidence that immediately distinguishes you from the rest. If this video has opened your eyes to a new way of understanding interactions, make sure to subscribe for more content that will transform your view of relationships. Hit the bell to not miss any videos, and share it with that friend who you know needs to hear this. The next time you're in front of that special woman, observe with new eyes. The signals will be there, waiting for you to decipher them. And when you do, you'll enter a level of confidence and connection that few men get to experience.